Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another Deepvue tutorial. Today we'll be building off the first video in the layout series where we created the basic layout that you see here on the screen. In this video, we'll be taking it a step further and setting up multiple time frames so you can analyze the stock quicker and more effectively. First things first, what we want to do is click this icon right here on the right hand side, and this brings up all these different options for layouts. Depending on how complex you would like to make it, you can choose whatever would fit your style best, but we'll go ahead and use this one for the purposes of the tutorial. Clicking that, you can see that there are now 3 different charts on the screen, the main one on top and then 2 smaller ones. What we're going to do is keep this one as the daily chart, set this one up as a weekly time frame, and then set this one to the 65-minute time frame. First, let's go ahead and edit the weekly time frame, and let's go ahead and actually delete the relative strength line here as well as the MACD indicator. Now for the weekly time frame, we do want to switch up the moving averages that we want to use. So let's go ahead and click the drop down arrow here and edit these ones right here. Let's set the moving average 50 and change that to a 10 period moving average on the weekly. Keep the same styling, and let's also go ahead and change the 200-day moving average to the equivalent on the weekly time frame, which is a 40-week moving average. And let's go ahead and press OK, and we can actually go ahead and delete the EMA 21. And for the last step, let's actually go ahead and switch it over to the weekly time frame, which we accomplished by clicking in here and then going up to the top left hand corner and selecting the weekly time frame. There we go. You can now see that this is the weekly time frame, and we still got the daily right here. So moving on, let's talk about now the intraday time frame, which we're going to set up as a 65-minute, and you can use an hourly, you could use a 15-minute, whatever best suits your process. So similarly, we're going to click in here, go up to the top left-hand corner, and switch this over to a 65-minute time frame. You can now see that this is the intraday equivalent of what we're seeing on both the daily chart and the weekly. And let's actually go ahead once again and delete the relative strength line as well as the MACD, but we'll actually go ahead and add one more indicator to the short-term time frame. So to do that, once again, we want to make sure that we're clicked in this box, go up to indicators, and let's go ahead and search stochastic. Clicking the first one, you can see that we now have a stochastic plotted with our intraday time frame, and now we've got a setup where we've got 3 different time frames with different indicator configurations. But now the benefit is we can analyze the stock on multiple time frames all in one clear picture. Taking it one step further, you can also click this up arrow right here, which brings up the stats table, which shows earnings growth as well as sales growth broken down on a quarterly basis. So not only in Deepvue are you able to have full custom control over your chart layout and technical data, but you can also consider the fundamental data at the exact same time. And one last thing that's very useful in Deepvue is all these time frames are linked with regards to where your cursor is. You can see that when I'm dragging over here, it's highlighting this day's price action as well as this week's price action. And if you go ahead and draw a trend line on the daily chart, let's go ahead and draw one in right here. You can see it applies on all time frames as well, which is extremely useful. All right, so now that we've got our setup and we can analyze charts on multiple time frames, both on a daily, weekly, and 65-minute basis, the last thing is, of course, to go ahead and save this. So let's click the drop-down menu, click Make a Copy. Let's name this Multi-TF and click Save. There you go. Now you've got a multi-time frame in Deepvue. And of course, if you'd like to, you can go ahead and revert this back to a single chart and also quickly switch back to that multi-time frame view that you have set up. So that's pretty much it for setting up a multi-time frame view in Deepvue. Hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful, and we'll see you guys in future ones. Take care.